Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2014 Dodge Dart Rallye. Up front is a 2.4 liter inline 4 and down below is a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now, I'm super excited to be driving the Dodge Dart because I've actually never driven one before, but I've always liked the look of them. I've always thought that they were pretty interesting cars, and then by the time I got my license, they were gone. They were off the road. And so, we'll talk about that a little bit later on about why they did take the Dart off the road. But let's get back to that 2.4 liter inline 4. Well, there were a couple different engines offered in the Dodge Dart. This was the largest offered, as well as there was a 2 liter and a 1.4 liter turbo. Those Dodge Darts that seemingly sneeze at you at car meets, those are the 1.4 turbos. But this is the 2.4 liter multi-air inline 4. Now, multi-air, where have we heard that before here on the channel? Well, actually, Fiat. It's a Fiat engine. It makes a decent amount of horsepower. I'll put it up on the screen, as well as torque. It's okay. I mean, it's a naturally aspirated 2.4. I don't really know what else you want from it. Miles per gallon, also not spectacular for a smaller vehicle like this. Now, that is harmed by the fact that this is a very heavy vehicle. 3,200 pounds, it's a lot heavier than its competitors. But also that engine isn't great. This is really a Cherokee engine. All right. We have some open road here. Let's see what the 2.4 liter can do. It sounds the part. Okay. It's not fast, but it's not sluggish either. You know, it actually kind of feels at least it sounds the part. It sounds good. It sounds sort of like it has grunt. It doesn't, but it sounds like that. Last but not least, the Dodge Dart is front wheel drive when it comes to power. So let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me I have 4 main gauges. On the far left is my tachometer. Then in the center I have my coolant temperature and fuel. And on the right I have my speedometer. I like the gauges. You know, this is very typical Dodge. These feel very Dodge to me. You know, the racing stripes, they feel very aggressive and Dodge-y. And then down in the center I do get a little digital readout, you know, giving me my current miles per hour in digits. On the steering wheel on the left, I have my voice commands, phone options, and selector for that center screen and the gauges. So I can go to average MPG, current MPG, tire pressure, oil life, settings, outside temperature, and odometer. And we're back to my speed in digits. On the right side of the steering wheel, I do have my cruise control options. Pretty standard there. I like the steering wheel. The steering wheel looks a little bit dated. However, this is a 2014. It's a 6-year-old steering wheel. For the time, it would have fit in pretty well. To the left of me, I have my headlight switches and my gauge dimmer switches. And then on the door, I have my power windows, power locks, power mirrors, and my gas button sort of pushed down below. Moving into the center, I do have a radio. Now, nicer Darts did get an 8-inch touchscreen, which was very nice and very large for the class. Now, this is a lower end Dart, so we're stuck with the average basic radio. Around the radio, this is not normally colored like this. The owner, Mikey, has actually done this himself. And so normally in Dodge Darts, it's not this funky color. However, you could get some interesting colors for this sort of plastic piece that goes around the radio. From the factory, they offered a lot of different options. This neochrome looking color just wasn't one of them. Down below that, we have our heating and air conditioning controls. This is very standard here. I have my fan controls, hot, cold, and where to send it. Nothing really too crazy here, although they do have pretty good tactile feedback and they don't feel super cheap. We'll talk about it later on, but the Dodge Dart was a very cheap car, and these don't actually feel that cheap, and I really, really like that. Then we have a 12-volt outlet, which is labeled that it works off of the key. I love that Dodge has always done this. If a 12-volt outlet works off the battery, it has a battery logo. If it only works when the car is on, it has a key logo. Very, very smart, and now other manufacturers are starting to do this as well. Mazda has just started doing this. And I think this is absolutely genius. They've done this since at least 2004, to my knowledge, probably earlier than that. Then we have the shifter itself. Like I said, automatic 6-speed. It feels decent. The actual shifter has a nice, satisfying clunk into gear. I like that a lot. And then I have 2 cup holders. Very basic there to round out the interior. The seats are decently comfortable. What I like about them is they have these 2 little racing stripes on it. No, this isn't a race car, but I like the added accent, and honestly, if I were to look at these seats, I would know that they were out of a Dodge Dart and not like every other economy seat. Every other car in this segment, the seats look the exact same, but these, at least they look slightly different. I do like that. But speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2014 Dodge Dart Rallye, and legroom isn't great. However, the seat is a little bit further back than my typical driving position. Mikey's a little bit taller than me, and so this is a little bit further back. So legroom wouldn't be atrocious. It's what's to be expected out of a car from this segment. What I mean by segment is this sort of price range paired with the quality of the car, if that makes sense. Other cars in this segment would be the Toyota Corolla, the Honda Civic, Mazda 3, Hyundai Elantra, things like that. So when I say segment, I'm comparing it to those other cars, of which this is about on par with all the other cars. The racing stripes from the front seat carry on to the back seat. I do like that a lot. It adds something a little bit different to the car, to the feeling of the car. I like that a lot. But besides that, I have power windows. I do have a center console. Let's see what magic it holds. 2 cup holders and actually a little storage container, which is very nice. Fold that back up. I have a little pocket up here. But besides that, it's a very bare bones, very basic back seat. Nothing really too crazy. Now we have to talk about the looks. Obviously, these are not the stock wheels and the roof rack is not stock. However, like I said at the beginning, I've always loved the look of the Dodge Dart. The rear racing taillights has 152 LEDs in them. I think they look great. They even look better at night. The racing stripes are really something cool. I'm really glad that Dodge does them. I think it really stands out from the crowd. And when I'm buying a car, that's kind of what I want. I don't need it to be super flashy, but I'd like it to stand out from the crowd a little bit. Now we have to talk about the Dodge Dart as a whole. First of all, we'll talk about the name because everyone gets all up in a tizzy whenever this car's name comes up. The Dodge Dart used to be a smaller muscle car from the 60s and 70s. The Dodge Dart was just that. It was something small but quick, and that's great. But then in 2012, when they brought this Dodge Dart out, they named it the Dart, and it's not at all what the original Dart was. And my thoughts on that are, I agree. This is not what the original Dart was. This really should have been named the Dodge Neon, because the last time that Dodge made a little 4-door economy sedan was the Dodge Neon. Why not just name this the Dodge Neon? I think people kind of knew that it was an affordable 4-door car. That was fun. I drove a first-gen Neon. They're fun. And I've driven a second-gen SRT4. Very, very fun. I think people would have sort of assimilated to that a little bit more had it been called the Dodge Neon. So that's the first misstep of the Dodge Dart, is I think it should have been called the Neon. I really, really do. This is, quite frankly, a Neon. One big thing about the Dodge Dart that I'm starting to see here is that there's a couple issues with the build quality in here. However, not nearly as bad as a lot of other Dodge products I've driven. I've driven a similar year Dodge Charger, and the thing looked like it had been through a war, and it only had 100,000 miles on it. This seems to be holding up a little bit better. I don't want to say drastically better. The steering wheel has seen better days, and so has the shift knob. But other than that, the buttons all still have their faces on them. You know, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be in here. So I will say that. It has better build quality than I expected. The second thing about the Dodge Dart is that this was an affordable car. I was hinting at it earlier. You could get one of these brand new off the lot for $15,000. Brand new! Spec'd up with the nice screen, nice wheels, nice paint. $22,000 back in 2014. I'll adjust that for inflation here for 2020 up on the screen. This is a cheap car. Dodge decided to make a cheap car again. And then they didn't. After 4 model years, they got rid of the Dodge Dart. And there's a couple reasons for that. First of all, they sold well. They sold over 330,000 of them. However, as compared to the Honda Civics, as compared to the Toyota Corollas, Hyundai Elantras, Mazda 3s, they didn't sell nearly as much as those guys. The second reason is that really this is a Fiat. And if you live in a country where you have a Dodge Dart that's labeled as a Fiat, I forget the specific name of it, please leave a comment down below. I'm really interested to see what a Dodge Dart with Fiat badges looks like and is named. But this was a Fiat, and so they adapted this car to the American market. They fitted better bumpers, they gave it the better name, restyled it, all this stuff. Cost over $1 billion to transfer a Fiat platform over to America. And so when they sold these for $15,000, they didn't really make a whole lot of money on them. So they canceled it. And honestly, I think canceling it was a big, big mistake. I like this Dodge Dart. I really, really do. I think it's styled really well. I think it's decent to drive for a vehicle in this sort of segment. Does it drive like a Rolls-Royce? Not quite, but I didn't pay Rolls-Royce prices for this car. It's great at what it is. I think its life was cut a little bit short, and I think it really could have been something great. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Mikey for letting me take out his 2014 Dodge Dart. I'm so glad he was able to give me the experience of actually driving a Dart finally. I can check this one off the list, and I'm very excited to do so. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.